Hello and welcome to this week's podcast. In this week's podcast you can find out about our mathematic rock stars in primary school. We go into the Agora to find out about the Poetry Corner. We drop into the Year 7 neighbourhood and hear from some fabulous Year 7 students about their descriptive writing. And of course we have our sports report where you can find out the results of all our sporting events, including some amazing results in the pool. Enjoy the podcast. Okay, I have a challenge for you first of all in this week's podcast. How did you learn your times tables? Well, if you're like me, we weren't dressed up like rock stars like our teachers and students have been doing this week as they've launched their Times Table Rock Stars Challenge. And they do this to increase the fluency of times tables with our students, and they do it by learning times tables and the facts that are connected to that in fun and engaging way, playing games, doing challenges. After all, learning should always be fun. I'm in the Year 7 neighbourhood with two of our fantastic Year 7 students. I'm here with Emma and Basil. And they have just completed some descriptive writing that got sent to me, and it was so good that I wanted to share just a little bit of it with you guys. So before we do that, let's find out a little bit about the assignment. So Emma, what was the actual assignment you had to do?
So our assignment was to create a piece of descriptive writing focusing on the villain of our creation.
Fantastic. And Basil, how did you enjoy? What did you enjoy about this entire experience?
Well, the thing I enjoyed most was writing it down, because I love having what I have in my head and writing it down onto pages.
Brilliant. Well, now you're going to get a little bit of a sneak preview. Unfortunately, you can't hear the whole thing, but these are just a couple of little paragraphs from his fantastic work for these two brilliant young writers.
I loathed his perfect teeth, his tousled hair, the musk of pine that shadowed him, his way with words that had led to only minimal resistance when he stepped up as king. He was the same man who killed my mother, enslaved my brother, and took my father into his service. A cynical outlook dawned on me, creeping over me like the tide near my hometown. No one was my friend, nobody but my brother. I suddenly felt a great, looming sense of disservice. I had left my brother in the castle, so many miles away. I had only survived because my brother begged the man who stood before me to keep me alive. I regret that he did, because I resisted from turning to the perverted fate that befell my brother. The king had decided I deserved the irons. They were worse than death. In fact, death seemed a soothing embrace, like something I could slide into and forget the world's cruel truth.
My world blurred. Strange aquamarine shapes floated through my vision, clouding my mind, judgment, and senses. Turquoise, azure, baby blue, water. I staggered towards the pool of colours. This was my final hope. If this wasn't my salvation, it was time to surrender. I knelt by the dam, sand coating my mangled knees. My cupped hands reached for this ambrosia, anticipating the cool kiss of the one thing I needed, an amnesty from this dystopia. Slowly, my hands descended towards the heavenly oasis. Slowly, I remembered a time before this horror. Slowly, I was almost there. Slowly, sand. All I felt was the harsh reminder that I would never get out of here, never escape. My mind was clearly addled. I was heat-struck, sun-struck, and soul-struck. Nothing but a mirage, after all.
Well, thank you both so much for sharing some of your writing with us. I mean, absolutely brilliant. I've had the fortune of reading the whole thing, and they are tremendous pieces of writing. You enjoy English?
Yes.
Yeah, it's my favorite subject.
Excellent. And do you have any thoughts about how you might want to use this love of English and love of language as you get older?
I plan to be an author when I grow up.
As do I.
Two authors. Well, there's definitely two authors there we should be looking out for their books in bookstores in future years. Thank you both so much. Well done. Fantastic work.
This year we will be celebrating World Book Day in a special way by publishing a children's poetry book. The theme for the poetry competition is the magic of the books, how stories make me feel. To find out more, come to the Poets Corner in the Agora or check out your Bish Bulletin for more details.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. Please be aware that the deadline for the parent satisfaction survey is rapidly approaching, and if you haven't completed that yet, please take the opportunity to do so and have your say about the school. We want to hear from you. Always check the bulletin, lots of information in there, and we hope you all had a really nice long weekend. Our teachers, of course, were in school on Friday, hard at work for the Professional Learning Day, when we were focusing on our NEASC accreditation. Some of them went and visited other schools, other people here were working on what we do, but overall a fabulous day, all based around, of course, trying to make our school continue to be better. Go Bulldogs!